What's going on? It's your boy Myk Masta be here live from the MMB radio studios for the MMB radio podcast, where no topic is too big or too small. We talk about them all. And on the lines on today's episode is a man that every time he steps into the squared circle, it's a movie. Like literally, it becomes a movie. He entertains fans nationwide. And tonight we're going to learn a little bit more about him. Because I'll be honest, I didn't know too much about him. But he just gives this intriguing mystique about him that I just got to ask all these questions and find out more about him. So on the lines right now, I want to welcome in Movie Myk. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, man? Pleasure to be on, man.
Good. And I mean, first, do you, what do you just go by, Myk? Do you go by Movie? What do people call you?
I go. Close friends call me Movie. My viewers call me your filmmaker or my filmmaker. So you can call me whatever you like. You want to call me Myk, and
All right, well,
whatever you like.
I guess like close friend level now. You know what I mean? I'll just call you Movie.
We'll work up to
that. But a little background for everybody who is wondering, like, how I came across your work and your stuff inside the wrestling ring. One night, just watching Fight TV, like 2-3 in the morning. I just turned this stuff on because I'm just like, I'm bored. I can't sleep. Like, let me find out what's going on. And I watched some of the indie stuff, and I saw you performing in, like, I guess it was Denver, Colorado, on a promotion. And I'm just like, wow, like, this guy is just, he's amazing. He's got all, the athletic ability. He's got the charisma and everything. And I'm like, I got to find out more about him. So hopefully today we're going to find out more about you and who you are. And hopefully people that also are tuning in who already know who you are or don't know who you are going to find out a little bit more about you.
Yeah, the promotion I had traveled to shoot some scenes was DCW, Devotion Championship Wrestling. It's a very good promotion, very good company, and I like the system that they're doing right now. But originally how I got my start into professional wrestling was in 2014. My friend had just passed away. His name was Shaquan Boston. His nickname, we called him Beans. So I was going to Cape Fear Community College. I hated college. I didn't want to go to school. I was only doing it because my stepdad wanted me to do it. And my friend was giving me a ride, and he was like, "Oh, what you about to do since you're not about to do college?" I said, "I'm about to, I'm gonna go ahead and be a wrestler." He told me, "If you're gonna do it, man, go ahead and do that shit. Go ahead and do it. Don't let nothing hold you back or anything." And then a couple weeks later, he had died. So I was like, "Yo, I really need to go. I can't wait till the new year come in. I got to go ahead and go right now." So I went the last week of December. No, sorry, I went in the middle week of December. And then the next week, there was Christmas and holidays, so it was closed down and whatnot. So I'm originally from Wilmington, North Carolina, Screen Gym Studios. So and I had moved to Charlotte to train with High Spots with George South.
So what experience, growing up, did you have with pro wrestling? Were you always a pro wrestling fan? How did you come to that decision that, I'm going to be a wrestler?
Man, honestly, look, I wanted to be the first black Batman, right? Wrestling was my backup plan. I was going to be the Dark Knight, trying to save the city of Wilmington, North Carolina. But my mother told me, you can't be Batman. I was like, what are you talking about?
Gotta love that parent support.
Yeah, you gotta love it. She crushed my dream at 5 years old.
You can't be the first black Batman.
What do you mean? Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? She couldn't at least help me out and be like, you can at least, maybe you can get a movie role being the first black Batman, or maybe an animated series of being something. She said, no, you can't do it.
How you can't even be Lego Batman?
Yeah, I don't know. And then so she was like, what else do you want to be? And I ain't never want to be no firefighter like that. Nothing against them. I mean, this never was my thing. So I was like, well, I'm gonna be a professional wrestler. She was like, oh, okay. And she just thought it was a phase. And so one day I was looking through the channel and I had seen a steel cage match on Raw in 2000. I was like, oh, okay. Then this is cool, because I always seen posters and shit like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this then. I'm gonna be somewhere big. I'm gonna be a big star somewhere. I don't know how, but I'm gonna be a big star. And I seen the poster and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. And I watched Raw and it was the main event. I watched. I'm like, yo, this is so cool. This is real good. And then 2 years later, did not watch wrestling at all. Like, I didn't watch wrestling for 2 years. And then like 2002, my aunt was like wrestling on, and I was like, what channel? What channel? And I went to the channel, and I was like, all right, let's get this, another shot. And I watched it. It was my actual first full match. Really was The Rock versus Ric Flair. That was my first full match that I watched. And so from 2002 to all the way now, that what got me into it.
Well, let that be a testament to everybody out there that you may not be able to be Batman, but you can be a pro wrestler. So it's not as far
Yeah.
fetched as you may think. So growing up, you're
And
watching.
what's funny about that? I did a match for CWF, so I kind of put my mother wrong. I had a Batman mask on, and I had to yell cut whatever. I was beating the guy up, and I rolled out the ring. And I put the Batman mask on, and I said action. And I tried to jump off the top rope, and the guy caught me in the stomach. So I kind of was Batman for maybe 2 minutes, and then I was like, I'm getting my ass whooped. I gotta go ahead and stop this Batman shit. so I kind of was Batman. So yeah.
So you see, you fulfilled your dream that early in your pro wrestling career. I got to be Batman for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I mean, growing up watching the wrestling, I mean, were there wrestlers that you mimicked and were influenced by? I mean, you said your first full match you watched was Ric Flair and The Rock. Now there's two greats right there. I mean, you can learn a shitload of wrestling just by watching those two guys, go at it. But were there wrestlers that you gravitated to?
Yeah, Randy Orton, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. The Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, he's also one of my favorite wrestlers. I actually did a video with the Pope, and I also talked to the Pope for a little bit and get some insight on his opinions and his views of wrestling, even with my Movie Myk thing. And Rob Van Dam, and also Sheamus.
Okay.
I was a big Sheamus head, so yeah.
So that's
I used to be a real big fan of The Rock, but he came back and it's like he kept doing basically the same old stick. Like, don't get me wrong, The Rock is great, but it's just the same old stick, and I'm like, oh man, it's kind of getting run to the ground now. So
you start getting that same old shit chant going.
yeah, you just look and you listen to him like, man, he's great, but goddamn, I heard this in 2003. So.
So I mean, you're going to go ahead and you want to be a pro wrestler, and you do training for it, and obviously, like you said, your aunt was watching wrestling, and your mother was supportive of it. But what was the feedback from friends and other family when you told them that this is what you're going to do? I mean, you were going to college. Well, let me ask you first. What were you going to college for?
I was honestly going to college for drama theater.
Okay.
And I guess with the principal, whatever you want to call it, college, I don't know the actual correct terms for school, but I had told her yo, this is what I want to do. I was going to transfer to an actual university, and this lady told me, you ain't gonna be able to transfer with this major you're trying to do. I said, huh? I was like, theater, drama. I was like, people go to school, we go to acting school, and get actor. I said, this is my major. That's what I'm trying to do. She said, they're not going to accept you. So I had to switch my major. I was like, all right, I really don't want to go to school now. So I had to switch my major to business.
Okay.
And I was like, this ain't gonna work. This not gonna work at all. But my friends, when I told my friends I wanted to be a wrestler, they thought it was a phase too. And some people was like, oh, you want to do that fake shit? And I'm like, yo, it's not fake. It's that and other. And I had to put them in chokeholds, and they realized that it wasn't fake and nothing like that. So some of my friends were supportive when we got older. I mean, 2013, 2014, that's when they got kind of supportive. This, that, and other. I used to play basketball a lot with my friends at the YMCA or the Martin Luther King Center. So after a while, I had stopped playing basketball with them. I'd play maybe one game, and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and work out. And so they're like, all right, go ahead and do that. And I come back, and then they'll be done playing basketball. So that's how that really went.
Now, when you were deciding to be a wrestler, did you do research on what schools you're going to go to? How is, for somebody that might be in your shoes that wants to do this, how did you determine where you were going to go to train? How did you know this is where I need to be? This is what's best for me? or do you just kind of just find something and just went with it?
Um, yeah, I had to do some research because I just didn't want to get trained by anybody. Originally, I was going to go to Atlanta with Mr. Hughes, WA4, but
Hmm.
it was extremely expensive, and at the time, I did not have the budget that I kind of have now. So I was like, I don't know if Atlanta's a long stretch. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I think it was like 1,400 a month or something like that.
Wow.
I think it was like that, and I was like, oh my god, that's too much. And then I was like, let me see the rest of the schools in like North Carolina. And it was one in Wilmington, but they got shut down. And then the second thing I pulled up was High Spot. And I seen a picture of George and Ric Flair. So I was like, oh, okay, let me do more research on George. And he had worked like everybody. So I was like, no, this is the guy I need to go ahead and get trained by and go to. So that's how that came about.
Now, how did you come up with the movie Myk character persona? Because the one thing I love about it is when you start your matches, is that you do the countdown and it's action. Instead of the
Yeah.
traditional ringing of the bell. So is this like a going back to the drama and theater days? Like how'd that come about?
Honestly, to me, it's not even really a character persona no more because my same friends I hang around with, we used to do little stupid, dumb shit in the neighborhood. And so I'm like, yo, before you do it, let me go ahead and record you real quick. So I take out my little iPhone and I record them doing something dumb, or they playing basketball like out in the street. I'll be like, yo, hold on, you about to dunk? All right, let me go and get my camera. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. And I go ahead and record it right then and there. So, and then one day when I was traveling to training, I was like, man, I need a name, man. I'm gonna be a larger than life guy. I need to be a name. I need to get like a good name. And at first, I was going with marvelous Myk, and I was like, that's not hitting right. And I was like, what if I do movie Myk? And I was like, I record all my friends doing wild dumb shit, dunking on people. So I'm like, why don't I just do movie Myk? And then the first person that messed up my name, it was like movie Malachi. I said, no, I'm just shortening the movie Myk. I'm just shortening the movie Myk. And then I came up with the filmmaker like maybe 2 weeks afterwards. I was like, I need a nickname. I need a good nickname. And I was like, well, the filmmaker go good. And then
Hmm.
after a while, I stopped doing the, because a lot of people does the a lot, and I just start doing your filmmaker movie, like. So, and plus I'm for my viewers. I'm for my people. So
That's what's up. So you were actually movie Myk before you even stepped into a ring.
yeah,
That's awesome. And I like that the filmmaker and now the your filmmaker, because it kind of goes hand in hand. You got the rainmaker, you got the painmaker, and now you got the filmmaker. Um, so what was one of the struggles you had when you were training to become a pro wrestler? Like, I mean, obviously people watch wrestling and everybody thinks that they can just, hop into a ring and I mean, you could be the most athletic person in the world, but people tell me all the time it's a whole nother game. What was one of the biggest struggles for you?
man, shit, taking the hips off. Simply saying, taking the hips off. I ain't take a correct hip toss until 6 months into my training.
Wow.
And George didn't really give me a many spots really because I couldn't take a hip toss because a lot of his training was involved just like around warm ups at first, and then he'll do like give you like simple stuff, then he give you modern stuff, and then he give you like some actual long 2 minute spots to do. And but they'll at least start with a hip toss. They'll at least be tackle drop down hip toss.
Hmm.
And I couldn't even get the hip toss right. I gotta go straight over. He used to stop training, like you gotta go straight over just like this, like this. And he's like, Cedric, come here for a second, give me a hip toss. Even when Cedric gave me a hip toss, I couldn't even go straight over. I was still going to the side and shit, almost
Hmm.
hit his knee. Like I was just bad. That was my biggest struggle was taking the hip toss. So when after I got over that hip toss deal, it kind of was my attitude. I wasn't. Well, I didn't have a bad attitude, but I just thought that like, oh no, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I can do this. I'm ready for all things. I was eager. Sometimes come off just a little arrogant or something like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I say that maybe my attitude, a little bit of the attitude and hip toss was my biggest struggle. And plus, I wasn't athletic as like a lot of the guys that was there, man. Like big time, y'all. I also do a podcast with him. He's a good buddy of mine. Uh, He was super athletic. He's a big guy. He was like at the time like 265, super athletic. In his first week, he was getting suplexes, hip tosses, drop kicks, all this type of shit. And I was like, man, I got a guy named Ian Maxwell. He's a good friend of mine too, doing leapfrog, reverse leapfrogs, cross bodies, all that. And I was just looking in the corner like, well, fuck, I'm still stuck on hip tosses. I mean, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I can't compete with this. And then the next night was Caleb Conley's training class, and I had went there just to watch. And I seen he used to wrestle at the time. He also a good buddy of mine too. His name is Mason. His name was Mason Maddox, and he jumped from the bottom rope to the second rope to the third rope, and he did a backflip. And I go, what the fuck am I doing here? That's all I said. Like, I can't even get the simple stuff. Damn.
I'm trying to do a lockup.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a lockup. I'm trying to get the hip toss right. God damn, I can't get the hip toss right. Y'all doing this?
But what I'm saying is, it's crazy because when I was watching your stuff, like I said, a couple matches that I've seen, I would have never noticed. You know what I mean? Like just smooth in the ring. I mean, obviously you've picked up a lot more since the first early days, but you would have never guessed that you have problems with a hip toss.
Hip toss. Let me tell you, oh god, it was horrible. But you gotta struggle, to get to the glamour. You know what I'm saying? It also shows the hard work that you put in. Like you said, and when you watch my scene, that I was athletic. Man, I wasn't athletic first coming in. Man, honestly, when I was growing up, I hit like 4th, 5th grade, and I was fat. And I was fat all the way to like 2018, really. In 2017, I was losing weight, but man, I was still a chunky guy. So yeah, it took me basically like a 3-year little stretch from 2015 to 2018 to really be like athletic, to just do some of the things that I do now on set.
So how did you get to do your first wrestling match? Like first match in front of an audience. Kind of take us through the emotions and what that experience was like.
My first scene that I've done. At first, it was at a carnival, not a carnival, but fair show. It was a fair show, and it was like only an hour away from Charlotte. And I wasn't wrestling. Yah was wrestling, and Ian was wrestling each other. And then and George said, yeah, Cam, you just gonna go ahead and watch. You take down the ring, and he was teaching us how to take down the ring and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. So I thought, since I ain't wrestling, let me go ahead and get me an IC, get me some cotton candy, bought George an IC, whatever. 30 minutes later, George go, he gave us nicknames. So he was like, Cam Newton, buddy, you wrestling? I said, huh? He's like, you wrestling? And I said, okay, well, what's the match? He said, it's gonna be a 6-man. And it was the people that was in my 6-man tag. It was me, Rob Killjoy, Aftershock, and like some other guys that I don't. Oh, Kid Chaos and the other 2 guys I don't remember. So it was there, and he was like, "You have it here," and I was looking like, "Man, shit, I got these shorts." And he looked, and he was like, "Ah." So he went to go get me some gear, and it was some biker shorts and like some knee pads, and he was like, "Yeah, Cameron," he said, "You just wear this tonight." And I was looking like, "Oh my god!" Again, at the time I'm chunky, so I'm not comfortable with my body. So I'm like, I gotta wear this, and I gotta take my shirt off. So I kept my shirt on, and I put the bikers on, and George go, "It's a little tight. It's a little tight. It's okay, buddy. You're only gonna be out there for 10 minutes. It's okay." so I'm just like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I get out there, and Rob has me in this hole. So I'm trying to do something and move. So Rob just like legit slams my head to the mat and then does something to him. I'm going like, this is the worst experience ever. But one time in that scene, I did a leapfrog, and George never seen me do a leapfrog. But the leapfrog didn't even matter because a couple minutes later, I took a nasty DDT, landed straight on my dome piece. And I got to the back, and I was like, y'all see that leapfrog? Y'all see that leapfrog? They're like, no, I seen you almost got killed with that DDT. And I was like, oh my god. So that's how my first scene went.
So they always say your first time is not always your most memorable, but I mean, when did you like feel comfortable enough that you were doing the movie Myk thing, you felt comfortable in your own skin? And let me first also say too, let this be a lesson to everybody. Make sure you have your gear with you everywhere you go, because you never know when your number might be called and you might be going to a ring. So like when did
Um,
you first like actually feel comfortable, like this is who I am. I feel established. I feel ready. I'm not just being thrown into a match. Like this is it. This is go time.
yeah. To actually feel like really ready and comfortable with just me and my performance, what I can bring to the industry, I was honestly 2019. Honestly, to me, that's when I really felt comfortable. 2018, I started really getting a name for myself, and in 2019, I was trying to really focus on the craft. Because a lot of people tell me all the time, like you got the entertainment aspect down,
Mm.
but sometimes your ring work can be a little shaky. It was like it's cool that you can be entertaining, you care like charismatic, but when it's time to actually like go in there and like work, sometimes it's a little shaky. So I had took that in consideration. I had started like really focusing on the craft, and so like around 2019, middle of 2019, I really felt comfortable with like I can do anything. I can wrestle anybody. Even when I wrestled uh, in Minnesota for Showtime Championship Wrestling, it was like 2000. It was like 2018. I had wrestled Airwolf, Kyle Creed, and Jeff Cobb. I mean, the match was good, but I still didn't feel comfortable with me. So until 2019, really, I was really perfecting like every craftsmanship of the industry, the in ring work, the more of the little bit character stuff, a little bit. I'm not really a big uh technical guy, but I was even trying to work on like a little bit of technician stuff just to be, a guy with all tricks of all trades, how they say. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that a lot of people look for is the well polished wrestler. You have people out there that can be amazing technical wrestlers, but just have the personality of fucking snail, or it could
yeah,
be Mr. Charismatic and then can't do a hip toss. Um,
yeah,
but
for real, no, 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 for real, yeah,
and it's crazy, that and it's kudos to you that you're willing to broaden your horizons and polish your craft, because a lot of people I find in the business, some of the struggles that I hear a lot of indie wrestlers or up and coming guys or guys that are in training that I talk to, and by no means am I any kind of wrestling trainer or professional wrestler myself, but it's stuff that from the fans point of view, we see these things, we're saying, wow, this guy's like, he's awesome on the mic, but like he's so sloppy in the ring. Or I see guys that are
yeah,
just amazing, like can do, all kinds of like high spots and technical work, and but then they just sound so robotic on the mic. So um, when you were doing all this training and doing the technical work, who did you reach out to? Did you go back to the original school that you went to, or were you just picking the brains of people that you were having matches with?
man. I went back to my school and things like that, but Caleb had like a little 2 minute like chain session, like 2 minutes in, and one person to tag out and the other guy that was in the middle to stay in, and then when he get that guy out and another person to come in or whatever. But I start taking the chain thing more seriously, like when I used to do the chain in there, like I took it seriously, but I would, always be on some character shit. I always be talking and trying to make stuff bigger and all that. But after a while, I stopped doing that. I started like really focusing on, okay, let me see if I can do this move. And then if it's looking like crazy, Caleb would be like, "What you trying to do?" And I tell him, he's like, "You got to do it like this." And I'm like, "Okay," so I do it like that. And sometimes he'll get frustrated. And I'm like, "No, I'm really trying to learn how to do this. Like I need to know how to do this." And then I get
Mm-hmm.
it down. It'll take probably like a week or two for me to get it, but I get it down. Then I start traveling. I went to one fall school, and now it's the Nightmare Factory. I went to there. I end up going to I ended up getting going to a big time wrestling show, and Robert Gibson was there, and he was teaching us some chain stuff and just in the ring, because we set up a ring and things like that, and I was just hitting the ropes, and he had got in the ring with us, with me and Lucky Ali, and he taught us some things. And then 2020, I went down to WWN to train with Frankie and Tony Storm, and learn some more stuff. So I started like going different places,
Now, where's the
and also
furthest that you've been?
first I've been was it maybe was Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
Maybe it was. I know I've been to Minnesota. I've been to Texas. I've been to Georgia countless times. I've been to New York, Florida countless times. North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia. Um, shit, that's all I know. Top of my Baltimore. Yeah, that's all I know right now. Actually, off top of my head, Indiana too. So.
Now, let me ask because a lot of people ask me this question. How do you get booked for different promotions? I mean, do people come to you? Do you kind of like send, a resume to people? Like, how do you get booked for all these different types of shows?
I mean, you can send resumes and things like that, but also if say if a promoter's at a show that you work and you don't even know that the promoter is there, and then all of a sudden after the match, the promoter talks to you and things like that, and we want to get you down at so and so or whatnot. And also, uh, word of mouth too, word of mouth, and also who you honestly friends with. The wrestling business is just like the Hollywood business. If you know this big time director, things like that. He'll give you a role in one of his films, and not the main character, but you'd be a co-star. So
Now, I've had people who want to get into wrestling, have shown some, mild interest into it, and they come up with the excuse. They just say, I can't afford to do it. I can't afford to travel. I can't afford to fly out to Salt Lake, Utah, and get paid, $100 if that for the night and be able to fly back and forth. What were some of the struggles you
mhm.
had when you were doing something like that? Was it, I mean, did you ever get discouraged and feel like, I don't know if I can do this?
No, I never got discouraged because if there's a will, there's a way. I know
Hmm.
it's cliche to say, but I really believe that because honestly, I don't have a active vehicle. Like I have like drivers that drive me around because I had to go get my license taken care of because I did again dumb shit. Just nobody recorded it. Oh, I didn't record it. I had wrecked like 3, 4 parked cars at my high school, and then so my license is like it's suspended indefinitely. So I have to go back home to get that taken care of to actually get back on the road. So I don't really have a license or a car. Well, I do have a car. Me and my father went half on a Cadillac. So I have a car, but I just got to get the license to really drive. So I have drivers like drive me around and pick me up and things like that. And also flying out to places. You got to save up your own money. I had a whole bunch of merchandise, and then the merchandise sold out. And I'm about to get some more T-shirts. So you just use what your priority. You're like, all right, like say for example, I want these $300 shoes, but I know I got to fly out to let's say Denver next week, and the
Hmm.
flight is like $200 round trip there and back. You got to pick like, do I really want these shoes, or do I need to get to this show? Or maybe you got to talk to the promoter and be like, hey, you mind flying me out? Flying me out, or if not, I'll just fly out myself out. And half the time they'd be like, yeah, then we can fly you out, whatever, give you what you need. I have taken like trains, places that my drivers didn't want to like drive all the way out there. I have taken like trains. I took in airplanes. I took in buses like Greyhound, Mega Bus, all that shit, man. So
So,
and like, if there's a will, there's a way. If you do say you can't afford to travel, maybe you need to just hustle basically. Like if you say you're an artist, you paint art, you paint, and maybe you need to sell some of your artwork after you paint. Like, man, this is real good, and you showing your friends off, and they're like, oh yeah, man, this is like really dope, man. This is a nice picture, and you getting good feedback, and you're like, all right, I need to sell this, and they're like, and whoever wants to buy it, like, how much is it? Okay, this is 250, and they don't see 250 in the value in your work. That's okay, that's fine, because somebody's gonna pay that 250 because they're gonna see that value in the work that you put in the effort. So that's 250 right there that you may go ahead and fly out to maybe a Texas or maybe to a New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So it's just about basically like priority, basically like which more is more important and things like that. And if you want to take a cheaper route, shit, the makeup was only like $25. So I mean,
Bring
it
your
ain't
own
that bad.
snacks.
Yeah,
No,
bring
I
your
hear
own
you.
snacks, man, all that.
I hear
So,
you. So, I mean, what is something about the business that you enjoy the most, and what's something that you would like to see changed? Whether it's you doing the change or just in general seeing it changed.
this buddy friendship shit. I mean, Hollywood's gotten better about trying to cast. Some films try to get some producers in some films and casting agents trying to be better about casting the actual right actor for the role. I just wanted that to see that in wrestling. Don't give this guy a shot because, oh yeah, I know him, he's my friend, is that and other. You see a young guy, or not even a young guy, if you see the older veteran that he's perfect for the role, he's perfect for what you're looking for. Choose him. Don't choose your buddy from down the street that you go get drunk with on a Saturday night. Don't do that. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, talent's gonna prevail regardless. So if you don't give them a shot, somebody else will eventually give them a shot. It may take them a couple years or a couple months or maybe a couple weeks or whatever you want to put it, but somebody's gonna give that person a shot, him or her. So that's one thing I really want to see change with the wrestling business is just stop the buddy. Actually have a director's eye actually for real talent.
Now, something that I was fielding some questions from people out there who I told you were going to be on, and then there were people that clearly knew who you were, and then there were other people that had no idea who you were. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
questions that I kept getting, and I thought was really intriguing, and I wanted to ask, was what does it mean to you to be a black wrestler? And I say that in a way where a lot of people are like, well, it shouldn't matter, but you see just like the evolution of women's wrestling, and now you're starting to see a
Yeah,
lot of wrestlers like in WWE when you see guys like the Hurt Business, and you
yeah.
see Bianca Belair now winning the Royal Rumble as a black woman winning the Royal Rumble. So what does it mean to you, and what kind of a responsibility do you feel that you carry on to be able to do that?
Representation matters. It clearly matters, and sorry, it matters, of course, especially in this day and age. And we've been needing 1990s or 1980s, however far back you want to go with it. But I don't want to just be seen as, oh, he's a black filmmaker. No, just seen
Hmm.
it as a filmmaker that happens to be black, but he makes good scenes. He makes good movies. He has good matches. So to me, it doesn't really. I don't really carry no weight. I carry a different type of responsibility because now I have two understudies. AKA I have two kids, a boy and a girl. So they are my reasoning to make the right decisions or to keep going or what I'm gonna have to do. And I have a family back at home with my mom and things like that. So I don't look at the pressure of being a black man from that. I look at the pressure of I have a whole family that I have to really take care of. You know what I'm saying? So that's the pressure that I get from that. I don't get any pressure for just being a black man wrestling or a black man that's a filmmaker slash actor. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, but like again, representation definitely matters.
Yeah, I said it was, and shout out to all the fans that were tweeting in and DMing me questions on Instagram asking about it. Because again, it's a big topic, not just in pro wrestling, but I think, just in the society in the world that we live in right now, so a lot of people are looking for that representation, someone that they can cling on to and say, like you said, you got understudies, you got kids, you got people out there that are looking at you as, someone that they can, say, I can do that. You know what I mean? Forget what
Yeah,
mama
I just
told you.
want
You can be Batman. You know what I
to.
mean?
Yeah,
Like I can do this.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, representation matters. Like where I'm from, I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina. A lot of people be like, "Oh yeah, you're from the beach. Why would you leave the beach?" First of all, I don't like the beach, but I'm from Wilmington, and a lot of people don't really make it out to do what they say they want to do. Like I had a lot of people that be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a football player," and then they go to college and they stop playing football. Like for some reason they fell out of love with it, or they gonna be like, "Yo, I'm gonna be a doctor," and they're not a doctor no more. They out here doing other things. So and there's only like a couple people that really like made it out from where I'm from. So that's why I'm like, I want to make it out and show people from where I'm from that you can make it out and be something of yourself. And I also want to bring up the feel and the access when somebody from the hood see me, they be like, yo, that's Movie Myk. And then maybe their mom or maybe their cousin be like, you know, he's from Wilmington, North Carolina, right? What? He from here? He on there? Ain't no way. Hey, Google me, Wilmington, North Carolina. Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
I can be a wrestler. I can be a basketball player. I can be whatever the fuck I want to be because he's from here and he made it. He made it on there. So that's one big thing that I also want to bring back to the feel of the industry.
And that's got to be an amazing feeling too, to be able to say that you represent, Wilmington and your town and your hood, and people will see you doing big things, like you got to admit, like that is a little bit of like a boost, for motivation there to, confidence to want to keep doing more. Because I know if I saw somebody from my town that was, doing big things and, it's motivating, man.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate it, man.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So what is your long-term goals? I mean, everybody wants to go wrestle on this promotion or this show.
Hmm.
Like, where do you want to see yourself, even if it's, short term, but like ultimate goal? Like, do you have goals that you want to achieve?
My main goal really is to be uh with a company that appreciate me, a company that is genuine, a company that will listen to my ideas or give my ideas some thought or maybe, of what I want to do, make me feel comfortable. Don't ever put me really in uh, a not a comfortable position. I mean, I know, like, it's life, wrestling is a job or whatever, so you may have to be in that, but don't keep putting me in uncomfortable positions. So, somewhat care for me. So any company really, whether that be WWE, AEW, ROH, Impact, whatever company that I feel like I would get probably used properly, uh, treated fairly, things of that nature. And then I honestly really want to dip into actual cinematics. I really want to dip into the Hollywood industry, whether it be a actual full big time director or an actor. I actually have a movie that I'm supposed to be filming in April. It's an indie film. It's called Summer Party 2. This guy named Dwayne Edwards. Edwards. I think I said his last name correct. Yeah, he's the director, and I'm in his film. It's like a horror film, an indie horror film. So yeah.
So that's cool. Using the wrestling to kind of branch out and do more things, with some of the talents that you naturally had and picked up. And I always hear people say when I ask the question, like, what is your main goal? What is the end goal? And a lot of people back in the day used to say, everybody wants to go to WWE. And now there's so
Yeah.
many other avenues. Now it's like, now people are like, that answer is not always, WWE. Now people will say, oh, I want to go to AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, what have you, New Japan. How much of that wrestling do you actually get a chance to watch with travel, just being everyday life? How often do you get to watch different promotions?
Um, I have like a day where like I watch wrestling. I just like it'd be like a random day. Like, I just watch a whole bunch of wrestling. I've had like one day I just watch a whole bunch of wrestling. I watch mostly really like independent like wrestling. Like, oh, I like what they're doing at so and so. Let me try to reach out to them and things of that nature. So I really mostly independent. Twitter you can keep up with the majors. You can keep up with whether it be AEW or whatever. So it really just one day I just just watch a whole bunch of wrestling. Really watch independent wrestling. Really watch old wrestling like 2008, 2009, 2007, 05, 03. Although that's my time period, but I still want to go back. But all right, let me watch it from this view. Let me study how Kurt Angle did this, or let me study how Randy Orton sold that arm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I'm an advocate and say that you can't watch too much wrestling. I watched 24 hours of Fight Forever over the
yeah,
weekend.
that was
So
a good show. That was a good show.
it was. There was some good stuff on there. I will admit there was a couple times that I dozed off, but I power
It's
through,
24
and
hours, man. It's
yeah,
hard.
it's 24 hours. It's hard to do 24 hours of anything, but I hunkered down. I outlasted the little mini power surge blackout they had. But
Yeah, that's good. What was your favorite match on there?
my favorite match on there, in all honesty, like I think the Iron match was
You go to
really
all of them
good.
match? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So that was one of my favorite ones. I've seen him a couple times. I've seen him, on when MLW was in Philly. So I've witnessed him, and I I like the guy because he gives that natural, like you just naturally want to hate him. Like I don't
yeah,
know what it is, but when he would come out, I'm just like I really fucking hate this guy. But he's got the talent. But
yeah, yeah. Definitely agree.
I was really impressed with a lot of the women's wrestling too, just because
Yeah,
I'm a big supporter of women's wrestling, as any other, wrestling, but just be able to have that spotlight, to be able to go out there and, perform, and just seeing different talents that I've witnessed in other shows. Now I'm seeing, like, now you're essentially worldwide. You're on YouTube, you're given a platform and a stage to kind of showcase your talents. So I thought that was really cool. So I was really tuned in for a lot of the women's stuff, seeing just all of it, man. It was a really, for what they were able to do, is kudos to, game changing wrestling, because again, that was just something that had never been really done before, 24 hours of wrestling.
yeah. It was history making. And then 24 hours of wrestling, a long Iron Man match. What Jordan Oliver did, like, 2 hours or something like that. He
Yeah,
holds I think he's number 3 in the record books now. The first ever style war between Treehouse Lee and Joey Janela. So, Bad Boy versus Rad Boy. Like, there's a lot of good things on there. Black Label Pro did something with Rob Killjoy. That was a good match. I seen bits and pieces of it. I didn't. Look, I couldn't watch all of it. After like 2 hours, I'm like, all right, I'm done, man. I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep and go ahead and work out in the morning. I just see the rest of it on Twitter. So
I hear you. No, my eyes were like starting to burn from trying to stay awake for so long. But there was people that I wanted to see, wrestle too. Like, just like you said, Joey Janela being from New Jersey, Faye Jackson, like, I got to see her one of her very first matches in my own
yeah,
hometown. So to see her, you know, progressing and just going on to and then Jimmy
yeah,
Lloyd. I've had
beautiful.
Jimmy Lloyd on the podcast, Jimmy fucking Lloyd, so it's like the guy's just been, through hell and back with some of his matches. So it was just cool. And then to see a lot of these guys, not only did they wrestle, but from what I heard, is they were, because of COVID situations, they were, they weren't trying to have a lot of people lingering around. So there were guys that were wrestling, had to leave the building, come back and wrestle another match. So I mean, just go show you the love and dedication to, wanting to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So what is your ultimate dream match? If you're playing Booker right now and you're promoting a show, like, who would you love to wrestle? If they're, and it can be
Uh,
anybody, all time, Hall of Famers, present, past, alive, deceased, like, who would be your ultimate match you would want to have?
um, really, I really don't have one, honestly, man. I wrestle anybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I really don't have one. I never really thought about like an actual dream match really with me. So sorry, I can't answer that one. Maybe when my son gets older, maybe I'll wrestle him. That'd
There you
probably be my
go.
dream match right there.
You guys could, form a
Yeah,
tag team or something, you know what I mean? A father son tag team, and
yeah.
you'd be like the
I
LeBron
want
James
my.
and Bronny of the wrestling world,
Oh man, yeah, yeah. I want my daughter and my son to get into the industry if interested. I wanted them to form a little team. One maybe a director, whatever he wants to be, and the other one to be the star of the team and whatnot. So if they want to do that type deal, that's a match right there for Vince. To have on the main event, first ever in the gender main event, a man versus woman. So.
There you go. There you go. So let everybody know where they can find you at online, because online presence is huge. Like, you think about it, like if you're not online, you're basically invisible. and
Yeah.
not a you can't see me John Cena invisible, like nobody knows who you are. So like, where can
Yeah.
people find you at online?
You can find me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Movie Mykrin. It's spelled MYKRIN. My Twitter is underscore Movie Mykrin. Oh no, sorry, that's my Instagram. My Instagram is underscore Movie Mykrin. My Twitter is just Movie Mykrin. Facebook, if my viewers want to get me on Facebook, Movie Myk on Facebook. That's really, I don't have a TikTok. I think TikTok is whack to me. I'm not a TikTok fan. So yeah, that's all my socials.
I can't even keep up with all the socials anymore. I don't have a TikTok. I don't have a Snapchat. I haven't even jumped into Clubhouse yet. I know people are
Yeah, yeah,
saying,
yeah. What the hell is this Clubhouse thing?
man, people love it, and now I'm starting to hear. I heard a report on the radio that now they're starting, other social media companies are starting to do their own version of it. I mean, it's like anything. You see how, like, you had, uh, what was it? Was it back in the day? Was it? Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. It was like Periscope or something.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
is that right? Yeah, Periscope. So, and then you had that, and then it's like, then Instagram did stories, and then Facebook does stories, and like Twitter's doing these things called like, I forget what they're calling it now. It's like something. They're basically, it's going to be
Yeah,
just like
the
Clubhouse.
fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. At the
So
fleet, at the fleet store.
yeah, so I mean, a lot. I mean, it's just like, I feel like any of these things, like, I just kind of give it time before I really jump into it, because I'm like, eventually it's just going to come to one of the platforms that I'm already using. So I don't really
Yeah.
need to get up on Clubhouse like that when I know I'm going to be able to do it on Instagram, or I'm going to be able to do it on
I
Twitter.
honestly, I honestly think TikTok gonna fade out just like Vine. You remember Vine? The
Yeah.
little 7, 9 second video, and Vine faded out. So TikTok gonna last probably like 3 to 5 years, and then it's gonna fade out, and something else is gonna appear. Oh, also one more social I do want to see. You're right. It's too many. There's too many socials. There's too many socials.
You can't keep up
And
with all of them.
yeah, you can't. One social that I do want to mention is me and my great friend Big Tom Yard's podcast. We Ain't From Here Pod. He's from originally New York City. He moved to Charlotte. I'm like around like 7th, 8th grade year, and so we got together and we did a podcast. You can get it on Spotify. It's coming soon to iTunes Radio. Some other radio thing like Radio Fastly, whatever. He deals with all that stuff. So, but yeah, but one for sure you can check us out on is Spotify.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And if anybody that just didn't get all of that, the good old Google search. You just go on Google and just search Movie Myk. Um, and I hope after this whole podcast, like I said, I feel like, maybe I can call you Movie now. I mean, I don't know. Like, did I?
Yeah. We kind of, you got halfway. You got
Am I
halfway.
warming up to that now? To that
You
level.
warm it up to you. Yeah, maybe
Uh,
if I have a shootout in Pennsylvania and I see you at the show, I'll let you know. Next time I'm premiering something there, I'll let you know, and I see you out there. Maybe you call me Movie. Maybe.
yeah, don't have me sitting in the crowd screaming movie, looking at me like, yo, who is this dude? Like, why he scream my name like that? But it's been really cool having you on and getting to know you a little bit. And I'm glad that I couldn't sleep one night and turned on Fight TV and saw you perform, and reached out to you. All the potential in the world, and it's super exciting to see young new talent coming up, because like I said, I watched Fight Forever, and I seen a lot of talent on there that I'm like, I remember when this person was wrestling in front of like 50 people, and now
Yeah.
they're on YouTube, and then next thing you know, they're doing AEW Dark, and then they're on Dynamite or NXT, so it's really cool to watch the process. I mean, we're real big on trust the process here in Philly, so we've learned to
Oh yeah, I
become
know.
we've
I
learned to
know. Y'all
become
been trusting the
patient.
damn.
It's not the
Y'all been
easiest
trusting the
street.
damn process for like 12 years. Oh God.
We've worked on the patience virtue here in Philly for a while. So again, it's been really cool to have you on, and we keep keeping an eye on you, and hopefully to see and hear more things from you in the future.
Thank you, man. I appreciate being on, man. Oh, this is your filmmaker, Movie Myk, and you are listening to Mix Master B on MMB Radio. Now that's 30K.